Hi, my name is Yee Seng Kang from Group 6. This is my minor presentation from Integrated Design Project 1 under the Erosion and Sedimentation Control Department, which supervised by Prof. Madya, TS Dr. Tarmizi Ismail. For the introduction part, the soil erosion is the detection, entrainment, and transport of soil particles from ongoing development and construction area, either due to impact of raindrops or by the shear forces of water flowing across the soil particles. While for the sedimentation part, it is the build-up of sediment generated by the erosion process deposited elsewhere on the land or in lakes and streams. Moreover, this is the layout design plan of the project site. We can determine the catchment area A, B, and finally the catchment area of C. And now we are going to determine the rainfall estimation. It involves the frequency, duration, and intensity analysis of rainfall data. Basically, there are three features in this estimation. First of all, the average recurrence interval ARI. It is the average length of time between rain events that exceed the same magnitude, volume, or duration. It actually adopts minimum ARI of 2 years. Secondly is the time of concentration. It is the travel time of runoff flows from the most hydraulically remote point upstream. And lastly, the average rainfall intensity. The intensity, duration, frequency IDF shows the relationship between the design required for the use of peak flow estimation. And this is the formula of the time of concentration, while this is the formula of average rainfall intensity. For the peak discharge flow estimation, the whole construction site is divided into a few small catchment areas. The rational method is commonly used method in Malaysia, and the right one is the equation of peak flow Q. While this is the result that we obtain. Next, the temporary earth drainage. The trapezoidal shaped open channel is used in this particular section. The side slope HV is equal to 1.5 to 1. The below is the equation of the Manning formula as stated. And this is the result that we got. The right side is the section view and the long section. While the soil loss estimation is the set of specialized management strategy, it helps to enhance the prevention of soil being eroded from overuse, acidification, and soil contamination. The below is the universal soil erosion equation as stated. It is used to assess the erosion risk of the site. And this is the result that we got. For the sediment yield estimation, it is the amount of sediment expected at the end of the drainage point from the designated site. It helps to predict the amount of sediment for sizing and maintenance of sediment control BMPS. The modified universal soil loss equation as stated. Well, this is the result that we got. For the sediment basin, it is the protection structure against the erosion or detention basin. It is used to collect the stormwater and run off from the disturbed area at the construction site. Well, this is the design criteria that we need to follow. Well, this is the result of the overall basin dimension, sizing of basin outlet, and also the trapping efficiency. And finally, the plan view, section view, and also the downstream. There are some criteria that we need to perform in this project. The sealed fence is the temporary sediment barrier made of porous fabric. And the second one is a wash-through, the dust prevention measure during the construction phase. The third one is the seeding and planting. It helps to provide the long-term stabilization of soil. And last but not least is the stockpile. As a conclusion, this process is critical before the earthwork project, such as the cutting and filling begins, as it provides the protection to the site. And lastly, the temporary drainage being designed to cater for the runoff and divert it to the sediment basins. And this is the end for the ESCP department. Thank you. Hi, my name is Yee Seng Kang from Group 6. This is the minor presentation from the Integrated Design Project 1 from the Water Reticulation Department, which supervised by Dr. Erwan Hafizi bin Kasiman. For the introduction part, the water distribution network which is delivered to the consumers such as the residential, commercial, and industrial once the water has been collected and treated. The network of pumps, pipes, and water storage designed to store and distribute water. There are some factors to be considered for this implementation. the size of pipes used, the pipe's location, the plans for future expansion, the calculation of likelihood of leakage, and lastly, the pressure factor. Basically, the water distribution system consists of three pipelines. There are the transmission pipeline, the distribution pipeline, and also the reticulation pipeline. And now we are going to determine the water demand for each node. It is basically according to span and based on 1 day storage and types of premises. There are three types of the design criteria that we need to follow. First of all, the pipe network system. The reticulation pipelines are analyzed using the closed looping pipe network. The Hardy-Cross method is involved to calculate the flow in each pipe through try and error process. Secondly, the pipe design. We need to figure out the exact pipe diameter satisfy residual pressure head at each node. The third one is the flow design. It is to determine the design flow of each pipe, the lowest possible residue head, and lastly, the most cost-effective pipe size. Basically, we are going to use the ePanel system software in this calculation. It is to analyze the simple distribution network to determine the velocity, flow rate, and also the pressure head. It also helps to simulate the contamination risk and assess a system's resilience to security risks or natural disasters. While these are all the procedures while using the ePanel system. For the head losses, it is the loss across an equivalent length of straight pipes can be used to calculate the small losses such as brought out by flow-through valves and fitting. The below is the equation of Hazen-Williams that we are going to use. Well, this is the design of water tank that to be used in our project. Next, the peak flow rates. The pipe design is used for domestic storage water tank. The computation do not take into account fire flow. The below is the equation of the peak flow Q peak, while the most bottom part is the result. The maximum allowable velocity. The maximum permissible flow velocity in any pipeline is set at 2 meters per second stated in span. It helps to minimize the erosion caused by turbulence at high speeds. This is the layout of pipeline. While this is the schematic generated from ePanel. That's all for the minor presentation from Water Reticulation Department. Thank you for watching. Hi, my name is Yee Seng Kang from Group 6. This is my minor presentation from Integrated Design Project 1, which under the Costing and Estimating Department, which supervised by TS Dr. Eeydzah Aminudin. For the introduction part, the costing is the process of predicting the cost of construction projects by comparing to a similar one that has already been completed. The estimating is the process of calculating the overall cost of a construction project considering all aspects. For more detail, the construction estimates are based on quotas provided by the contractor, subcontractors, and also the suppliers. It is basically based on the size of project and number of people needed. For more information, an accurate estimate of the project is created when all the materials, equipment, and personnel costs are determined. The experts need to assess current market conditions to establish range of value based on construction costs. Moreover, there are many earthwork machineries that involve in it. First of all, the dump truck, the chainsaw, the excavator, the bulldozer, the backhoe, and lastly, the compactor. For the cost consideration part, the labor consists of skill level and the local or foreigner. The skill level involves the efficiency and performance, which will affect the project's progress. The second one is the local or foreigners, is the presence of foreign workers driven by strong demand for labor, which is associated with economic growth. The second part is the material involves the transport charge and also the discharge charge. Lastly, the equipment consists of fuel, production, hiring rate, and also the operators. It is basically according to the world's economical rate. The higher the rate, the higher the cost as well. Basically, the cost estimation have to be performed before reduction and also after reduction. Both reduction involve the site clearing, the cut work, the field work, and also the finishing like leveling work has to be determined in this section. While this is the result of the total cost before reduction and also the cost after reduction. Generally, the overall calculation is stated below. This is the formula that we need to calculate the percentage of the reduction cost, which determine the 7%. Overall, the objectives of this project are achieved as we are able to determine the most economical materials and machinery used for the project. And secondly, we are able to prepare budget and control costs effectively. I think that's all for my minor presentation for the costing and estimating department. Thank you for watching.